There's ice here. There you go. Now you're getting Canadian. Nicely done. Chances of dying greatly reduced. Look down. Look who we are, man. So sick. I never thought anything like this would be possible in South Africa. Is this normal temperatures here? Because this does not seem like good ice climbing.
This is warm.
Generally, when I go on an ice climbing holiday, I don't expect it to feel like Southern California. This is absolutely gorgeous, but not really for ice climbing.
But you know, the Drakensberg's 100 kilometers away, 3,000 meters in altitude.
So there's hope.
There's hope.
But there is an ice climbing scene here. Right? That's pretty cool.
I mean, we invest thousands of rands into ice gear to use it for about 4 days of every year.
Like, you understand why I'm an ice climber. I live in Canada, but it's like, you guys to be ice climbers, you gotta
You have to get new picks every couple of weeks. Our picks last us about 10 years because we use them 4 days of every year.
You guys are total heroes. I just figured, let's go and continue the Southern California ice climbing. Just another average day of sport climbing here in South Africa. You've got to get the zebras off the road before you can go climbing. That one seems angry. Maybe we should go.
African sky blue, your children wait for the dawn.
So Will Gadd is this ice climber, primarily an ice climber from Canada. I know him from social media. I followed his account for a long time and watched all his YouTube videos, literally every single one.
Hiking up is an all-time solid grunt of a hike.
We did come into a conversation on social media underneath one of his posts. Out of that post, he was like, send me a message, I hear you've got ice climbing. It didn't take him long. Literally the next email was like, okay, when should I come?
African sunshine.
So Tim told me it was a few hours and we'd be there. It's actually 8 hours to the pass and 1,600 meters. So this counts as one of the most epic sandbags of my life. But if there's ice there, it'll be worth it.
I think there's some ice behind us as well. Maybe we're in for a good time on the other side.
What can I hope? What will the future?
There's ice here. That's pretty cool to see. It's unbelievable, but there's ice right there. And where do we want to camp?
So we're at this level, and around that next corner you'll see just over there, because the wind, that valley isn't as deep, so the wind doesn't pick up as much.
We got these crazy winds. We're predicted for 60 k's an hour this evening. This is around 120 to 130. Can't stand up straight outside. I sleep tonight a little bit more and go ice climbing later.
I got blown off my feet over there. I think we got everybody's tents pretty well. Hopefully it'll last till morning. See you in the morning, I hope.
When Will saw the ice, he was just in shock. He was so stoked.
There is ice in South Africa. After the world's most miserable night, we actually get to go ice climbing right 200 meters from the tent.
And when we said, well, no one's ever climbed it, he jumped up, he started moving, he's like, I don't think.
This is legit ice though, it looks really good. It's actual ice climbing, you know.
In Africa.
In Africa! cool climb.
Oh, it's great ice.
Nicely done.
That was good.
First ascent.
Yeah.
Solid. I think we have to call it always look on the bright side.
Let's do that.
Day one of ice climbing with Will Gadd in South Africa was a major success. They climbed this route, so Will led it, first ascent, and the rest of us followed it. It was super cool, so stoked. There is ice in the Drakensberg, there is ice in South Africa, and yes, even Canadians can get stoked at our ice climbing.
Will's wrapped down. Found a very cool mixed line. Definitely hasn't been climbed before. Once he's got to the bottom and the rope goes slack, I'll ebb down and we will hopefully send the gnaw.
This is gonna be fucking cool. I really wanted to go there, but it's all detached, so it can't be done safely. Chances of dying greatly reduced. This is so rad. Look down, look where we are, man. So sick. It's really rare that you get one of these done in a day. Just like fire it up like this. It's quite rare. I'm fully stoked. Yesterday was nice and today is now it's like honestly anything after this is like icing bad. Yeah. Like that's a legit good route anywhere in the world.
I've got a bit of getting strong to do, but
we all do. Yeah, I'm fried. That was great. That's one of the best mixed pitches I've ever done.
Can I quote you on that?
Yeah, dude, for sure.
situation for ice climbers in South Africa, we've got, I'd say, probably 4 different ice climbing venues between South Africa and Lesotho. Giant's Castle is the main sort of area, and then we've got Sani Pass and Bokong, which is in the center of Lesotho, and then down in the Eastern Cape, an area called Rhodes. Giant's Castle is got biggest quantity of ice, but it's also the hardest to get to. A full day to walk in, 2 or 3 days of climbing, and then a full day of walking out. From Giant's Castle around to Bokong probably took us somewhere between 6 to 8 hours.
The next stop was Bokong in Lesotho. This is not a country I'd ever thought I'd visit. You know, it's not on like the tourist radar, but it's an absolutely beautiful country. Yeah, another African ice approach. And the geographic feature, the Drakensberg, is connecting Lesotho and South Africa. It's kind of a common ground between the two countries, even though it's in different countries. And it's wild, it's very different. Like, you might come here for the ice climbing, but just being in this country is obviously a really different place, and it's kind of blown my mind. And we're very privileged to be here and going ice climbing. I have to recognize that I've been incredibly lucky to live the life that I do. Good morning.
And we have arrived at Bokong. Conditions are looking mint. -4.
Arr, gladdies, there be ice. This is classic high volume ice climbing though, in that you can hear the stuff forming and breaking off continuously while you stand here. It's super unstable. So where do people climb mostly?
So typically you can see that sort of buttress of rock sticking out to the left of all the chandeliers. So we approach it from there, pretty much pick a line up that kind of amphitheater.
Yeah. There's a cool mix line up, those roofs up there.
Yeah.
So it's not super, I'll be honest with you, it's not super ideal right now. Like I'm still stoked to put crampons in, walk in and see if we could make something work. But I'd like to go in there and have a look. See, I think you can't fail until you fail, and we haven't failed yet. We've just been discouraged. Fuck, this is cool. I don't know what to do. There's a lot of cool options. Yeah, I'm stoked to fire this thing up, I think, first, and then also fire that up. Both of them are very high quality routes. Sweet, there's progress. Fuck yeah, this is great. Okay, a little bit of slack out, please. That's good, thank you. Sick. Well, just bolted one of the coolest mix lines out. It's an overhanging crack in a corner with ice in it. And so you can go from ice placement to ice placement all the way out that whole overhanging terrain. So it's really rare. Like, you just don't get many of these in life. Honestly, I've been doing this now for almost 30 years and I still find it just fascinating. I gotta sharpen these crampons, man. That was exciting. Oh yeah, the game is real. Yeah, Tim. Nice work. It's really fun to watch you on this, I gotta say. You're a good climber, and now you're learning like this style of climbing.
I'm used to rock, where you can feel you're about to slip.
Yeah.
This is like, am I gonna sit? Am I gonna sit?
But he'll come back and red point this thing, or maybe get it this morning on the red point, and that would be pretty satisfying. It's a bit of a transfer of knowledge, which is really nice. One of the things I've been doing is talking about descents and lowering and not having stuff over your head. And again, there's been a bit of a, Tim's learned a fair amount and he's doing a good job cleaning it all out, which is nice, because if the rope swings onto that, then it comes down the rope onto him. Maybe be a tad more aggressive, Tim, like, yeah. Like, fuck it up, man, don't be shy. There you go, now you're getting Canadian.
That's sick. It was one of the coolest things I've ever tried to this. Now, we've been kind of taught a little bit of how to see routes. Obviously, we'll still struggle to see them, but maybe we'll see a few more than we would have before. And maybe we can open some really cool stuff inside the main cave as well. So, I'm stoked.
So Bokong was incredible. And then next up was Sawney Pass. And, the part of the goal for me was to try and teach a little bit of ice climbing and some of the best practices from the guiding world and work with some people who want to ice climb here in South Africa. Let's do it. There's actually baboons right over there. I wonder if baboons can ice climb. But that's...
They can rock climb pretty damn well.
Not something I've ever seen before.
You made it to Sawney.
Maybe you could tell me what you want to learn today and I'll make some notes of it and I'll kind of hit the nodes that are common.
I mean, I'm a beginner, so I've been on ice a couple of times just on top rope, but I guess like I'd like to learn to lead.
What to look for when placing ice screws? Improving technique, drilling into that.
And how I generally like to do this is everybody climbs once and then we regroup, talk, climb once, regroup, talk. That way you get a lot of climbing because you don't get that many opportunities by all reports to climb. So it'd be a shame to come here and not climb a whole lot.
So I'm assuming I'm not supposed to grab the ice either.
You can grab it if you want.
Okay. That's cool practice. It's not weird.
What you're doing is just kicking, there you go. You want the good chick 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 noise. So when I kick, my foot is flat. If you stand up too tall, then just like your ice pick starts to break the ice, the front points break the ice, then your boot contacts the ice and your foot blows. A little bit higher, there you go. Feel your secondaries are going in now?
Yeah.
That's what you want. But if your feet aren't locked on feeling like that, then you're not safe in the mountains. You got a little Elvis in you now. Now you got a little hip motion, right? Before it was more like pogoing. Yeah, that's what you're after. You want it rotating around your little finger primarily. Yeah, and you need to have your hand a little bit loose to let it snap. So you all improved about 150 to 200 to 600% in just learning how to swing your ice tool. Had a great crew here. Worked really hard all day on sharing some skills and some stoke for ice climbing, and just a really nice day of teaching and learning and talking, and this is obviously one of the most beautiful places in the world. So to share that with new people was just great, and hopefully I gave them something that's of value to them, because they've certainly given me something of value to me. You know, I've been showing around South Africa and Lesotho for over a week now, and so trying to give back a little bit so I'm not just taking in this environment is important to me. And have some fun. I like teaching and I make it fun for myself, and hopefully they enjoyed it too. After all that, only one thing to do, have a beer at the highest pub in Africa.
I think the biggest thing that stood out to me the whole time is Will's psych to just try stuff. And just when he got to Chiricahua, when we got to Bokong, we saw that the conditions weren't great. And despite that, he was like so psyched. And because of that psych, he found something that was way more awesome than anything else we had climbed. And so my number one takeaway from Will is just to go out and try. And not to be perturbed by conditions, by weather, by ice, bad ice.
That's great.
But you just go and try and enjoy it, and just enjoy being out there, because that's what he does. And that's why he's been able to do this for so long at such a high level. It's amazing.
Yeah, baby. I wanted that one. That's such a high quality climb. It's just, you got to get the lust in your eyes sometimes.
Bana hua duta